There's 3 different gravity modes in the Gravity Fields DLC. The first is a stationary gravity field, which is spawned in the current location of the player, and this will pull items towards it before exploding after around 4 seconds. This can be activated by pressing the B key. The second is a small mobile gravity field with a green effect, which is controlled by moving the player and the camera. Once the N key is pressed, the gravity field will continue to stay active until the N key is pressed again, at which time it will push whatever is within the radius of the gravity field in the direction the camera is facing. Third is a large mobile gravity field with a blue effect, which is also controlled by moving the player and the camera. Once the M key is pressed, the gravity field will continue to stay active until the M key is pressed again, at which point the gravity field will explode and whatever is within the radius of the gravity field will be pushed in all directions. Both of the mobile gravity fields have the ability to be temporarily locked in place by pressing the U key. Once locked in place, they can then be unlocked by pressing the U key again. This can be useful if, for instance, you change pawn, as the position of the mobile gravity field will then change. There is also a permanent lock, which can be activated by pressing the P key. This will permanently lock the gravity fields in place. This will then mean you can spawn another mobile gravity field. This new gravity field can then also be locked in place again with the P key, and this mechanic will allow you to spawn unlimited gravity fields. If you spawn a gravity field and explode that type of gravity field, all permanently locked gravity fields will also explode. I've also added in the ability for permanently locked gravity fields to follow a pre-recorded path. If you hold the P key down, the current location of the gravity field will be recorded for up to 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, or after the P key is released, the route that has been recorded will be looped. I've also now made the large gravity field customizable. By pressing the comma key, you can toggle an on-screen widget with gravity options. With the first slider, you can customize the distance of the gravity field from the player. The right of the slider is the furthest away from the player, and the left side is the closest to the player. You can then also customize the strength of the force in the gravity field with the second slider. The left of the slider is no pulling force, and the right of the slider is a very strong pulling force. You can use the reverse strength checkbox to invert the force. With the force inverted, the left of the slider remains the same and has no force, and the right of the slider has a strong push force. The third slider is to control the size of the area in which the force takes effect. At the left of the slider, the area which the force takes effect in is very small, and at the right side it is very large. The visible checkbox turns on or off the visibility of the gravity effects. The force will still be applied, just the effects will not be visible. These changes to the large gravity field only affect the current and subsequent gravity fields, so any previously permanently locked gravity field settings will remain the same. And this will allow you to have many different gravity fields with different settings, all being active at the same time. In the latest update, I've added in the ability to also switch to a first-person spectator pawn using the Y key when using the default third-person pawn. Each third-person pawn will have their own spectator pawn. This will allow you to move around the levels freely and view the levels from different perspectives. These first-person spectator pawns also have the ability to spawn the gravity fields as well, and you can have multiple gravity fields on the level at the same time with different pawns. Using the Y key again, you can switch back to the original third-person pawn. Only the default third-person pawn and the first-person spectator pawns have the ability to use the gravity fields in this manner, which means these features can be used in other modes provided you're using the default third-person pawn or the spectator pawn. If you can double jump with the character, that means it's the default third-person pawn. In the Chaos Physics modes, I've additionally added 2 gravity guns which function the same as the mobile gravity fields, used by the default third-person pawn, but you will need to own the DLC in order for them to be available. There was a gravity grenade which is available to all users, and this has been available for quite some time. Additionally, with the new update, I've increased the functionality of the existing spawn system by adding many more meshes or skeletal meshes to spawn. You now have the ability to switch between spawning a standard mesh or a skeletal mesh, and then to change the specific mesh. I'll try to add some more features to both the base game and DLC as time goes on, and hopefully I can take some of your suggestions and add them in, as well as adding in Steam Workshop support at some point. The DLC is out now on Steam and Epic Store, and is $3.99. If you like the YouTube channel or the Unreal Physics based game and you want to help support either, it'd be great if you give the DLC a try and let me know what you think.